And welcome back to the Nightfly for an insight into the current lineup of Genesis, out and about in the United Kingdom at the moment, on what you might call a greatest hits tour, playing live lots of the old classics. I'll give you details of tour dates after. Now, the band have acquired lead singer number 3 in their 30-year history. Ray Wilson has taken over the microphone from Phil Collins. The truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth of how it is for the band at this point, revealed now in Genesis 1 to 1.
What felt hard?
I listened to the album.
I mean, hey, I had a great show. I loved it. And then
What it means, but it's pretty.
I think it melted into what we didn't want to do.
Grew up and became a band, working pretty much on the Black Album.
So what do you want to know?
Genesis, you know, it's like if somebody phones you up and says, yeah, Genesis would like you to sing for them. It's like, what?
He's got such a good sort of, a very emotive voice, I think, and a lot of passion in there.
Well, he's got a great sense of humour, and he's very confident too, which you've got to have. I mean, I think, any singer has to be confident, but coming to this position like that and taking over from Phil, it's a challenge, and I think he's not fazed by it at all.
I had a bizarre experience on roughly when the launch happened. In fact, I was watching VH1's, it's like a weekend edition slot, and Phil was talking about me. There's a section that gets repeated at 1:30 on a Sunday morning. I was going down to London to do the launch on the Monday, that's what it was. So it was like the 5th of June. And I'm lying in bed with my girlfriend with the television on. I say, I just want to watch this. And I was trying to get some sleep so I could get up in time for the flight. And I'll just watch this. And Mike and Tony are talking and all that's happening. Then Phil starts talking about it. And it ended and I thought, yeah, great. And just turned the television off and I'll go to sleep, you know. Wrong, you know. You can't get to sleep when Phil Collins has just been talking about you on television. It doesn't work.
I'm really excited for them. I think, you know, for them to carry on, which is what we did when Peter left, is what should happen. You know, I'm not that important that they had to fold. I mean, Tony and Mike are the spirit of Genesis.
Well, when we got Phil, we advertised it as Genesis-type singer, Genesis-type drummer required. That's how we advertised for Phil. So we thought of putting in Genesis-type singer required, but in fact, you haven't got a clue. I mean, there really aren't. There wasn't a set image of what we needed. All you can do is when you listen to voices or consider people is to just imagine, or to say to yourself, can you imagine them in the band doing it? Being on stage with you, singing on the album, working with them. And sometimes guys have great voices, but I just didn't think it would work, you know. I couldn't see them singing our songs.
Maybe they will miss this guy, you know, doing whatever he did at the front of the stage. Maybe this Ray will do something else. It's a very difficult thing.
I was really very nervous about it to begin with. I think it was more kind of nervous energy, really, that kind of got me to a lot of the notes, which are really a little bit above me. But I got some of the notes I hit were quite amazing, to be honest. I was surprised, but I surprised myself.
And Ray came down the first day, and he started by just auditioning, singing. We gave him 4 or 5 Genesis songs to sing.
Of course, I get there, and they're playing the original reels from the albums. So I've got Phil Collins doing backing vocals with me in my headphones. It's like some songs like Land of Confusion, you know, you've got This Is the World We Live, and he goes, oh, I've got this in my ear. And it's quite a freaky experience to be hearing Phil singing backing to you singing one of his songs. It's a strange concept.
One of them, No Son of Mine, he sung fantastically. I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, it was really had a sort of strength to it. And I was pretty convinced then, actually.
You know, son of mine. You know, son of mine. When you walked out, you left us behind. And
fantastic. It's like hearing the song for the first time again. You know, it just sent a shiver down my spine. And that was just, I thought at that point, he's got to be the guy.
There's a passion about the lyric that really meant something to me, and it's always been a favourite Genesis song of mine. And yeah, I mean, I sang it and felt it. You could feel it as you were singing it. It was one of those songs that just worked instantly. Some work, some don't, and that one did.
Where should I go? And what should I do? You know, son of mine. Well, I came here for help. Oh, I was looking for you.
Although we didn't look for these changes, when they happened, it actually brings something fresh to the band. We use it to our advantage in a sense, because we look for something new. I mean, automatically, there's a new person in there, so it can't be the same as before. So in a funny way, it helps you keep going, actually, because automatically the band is kind of rejuvenated just by the fact that there's a new person in there. Everything's different. The videos are different. Like we're shooting here, it's Ray up there and it's not Phil. The studio's different, the tour will be different. It's you can find something in there that is actually good.
All I need is a TV show, that and a radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life.
We can carry on, we can cope, you know what I mean, and do it slightly differently and with a different influence, and hopefully come up with something that is strong in its own way.
I get so lonely when she's not there.
If you write it down, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, Ray Wilson, it's like, you know, it's difficult to grasp that, really. I mean, I've been a fan of, you know, Peter in the beginning. Peter has really been my main artist out of the two, but Phil, you know, Phil's obviously one of the most accomplished musicians and finest musicians in the world. You know, he's a drummer, his drumming's phenomenal, his songwriting capability is brilliant. I mean, to try and follow that is no mean feat, and you know, I don't take it lightly, even though I'm saying it's kind of easy going and stuff. I know what a challenge I have, and I think that there's so many Genesis fans out there who want this to continue, who want the thing to work out.
We're making this new video for the single Congo, and we're working with Howard Greenhold, who's a director I've tried to work with quite a few times, mainly the mechanics. We've never kind of managed to link up, but this time the dates fell together and it seemed to work out right, and he wrote a great script, so here we are.
It's supposed to be sort of almost like a general problems between men and women sort of attitude thing, you know, and I think that's a little bit illustrated by the sort of depiction of the woman as a shark in this and everything, which is quite fun. But don't ask me to explain it.
You say that I put chains on you.
We have a script telling us what the basic idea of the video is, and it didn't even mention water. So I think Howard, the director, got here and thought, God, we can use water. Let's drown them.
Well, I said, you know, that the band will be shot in context, which meant that there'll be, you know, dripping girders and a little bit of sheet of water. But because I've never worked with them before, you're never sure just how far you can push them, and you know, just by talking to them, I got the feeling that we could have some fun. And I must say they've been really good sports. It's not often I get to fire water cannons at very expensive people.
But I don't think that's really true. But if you wanna be free from me, you gotta lose me in another world. Send me to the Congo, I'm free to leave. There's always somewhere anybody can leave. Send me to the Congo, you have to believe. You can do it if you wanna, just do what you please.
It's fun, you know, and it's a way of the song reaching the audience. I mean, I look at it like it's like a long advertisement in a way. It just shows you the music and in a sort of, you know, easily palatable way, hopefully.
The video presents the band. You know, it's like saying, here we are, this is this new face in the band, Ray's the new singer. And so it's a first impression. So I suppose it's important, obviously, you know, I still think the music is really the most important thing, but it has an effect on how people see you, I think.
You can send me to the Congo, you have to believe. You can do it if you wanna, just do what you please.
I think there's no reason why this album wouldn't have been like it was had Phil still been in the band, because we do tend to change things, but there's an area that Phil did really well, songs like you mentioned, Jesus He Knows Me, and the slightly humorous side, which I think we wouldn't attempt to do without him, because it's just something that it's very hard to make it work and get it right, and he did.
'Cause Jesus, he knows me, and he knows I'm right. I've been talking to Jesus all my life. Oh yes, he knows me, and he knows I'm right. And he's been telling me everything is alright.
And it's not Ray's cup of tea at all, I don't think. And we've done that area too, so I think this album has gone back to more of a rock album, really. Heavier album, I think, and slightly longer songs, and I think in a way it's good, because the last thing you want to do is to do the same as before, really.
We do have a certain way of writing, Mike and I, there's no doubt about it. But with a new voice on it, it starts to sound completely different, I think.
Obviously, when people are used to hearing Phil mainly singing Genesis songs a certain way, it's difficult when you don't, you know, I don't sing like Phil, I'm a different kind of singer, really. So some songs will work, some songs are working brilliantly, and some songs aren't. And it's just you know, fortunately we've got loads of songs to choose from. So it's just a question of getting the balance right, I think. But on the whole, it really is an exciting prospect for all of us.
It's not about hate, it's not about pain, we always feel. I know we have our problems, but we're not the only ones. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about anger. It's more about the loneliness we feel. How can I begin to ask for some forgiveness for all that we have taken? There's nothing left now. There's nothing left now. It's not about us anymore. It's all about the reasons that we think we're fighting for. It's not about hate. It's butterfly, flutterby, butterfly. Open your eyes, it's full of surprise. Everyone likes the possible rise.
Coming closer with our eyes, the distance forms around our bodies. Out in the garden, the moon seems very bright. 6 saintly shrouded men move across the lawn slowly. The 7th walks in front with a cross held high in hand, and it's hello, babe, your supper's waiting for you. Hey, my baby, don't you know our love is true?
I sort of feel we got to the stage of being a bit like a football team, you know. I mean, Manchester United obviously not the same team they were 20 years ago. In fact, nobody's the same in it, you know, and obviously they're still doing very well. So I suppose it gets a bit like that, you know. It's just we're just waiting so Mike and I can sort of slip out, you know. Perhaps we can keep a couple of percentage of the group and see what happens. It's yeah, it's not obviously it's not the same as that, but I think that, you know, we did set the precedent a bit with Peter leaving and Phil taking over to show that it sort of can be done. You keep the kind of essence of a group going, I think.
I'm helpless and alone, drifting out to sea. I can't believe what you said to me, even standing on the corner of a busy city street.
I'm pleased with the new album because it's been obviously a harder album to make. The new singer and a new drummer as well. I think the feeling that we look at it, or the way we look at it now, is that it feels to us like a Genesis record. Obviously it's different because of a different voice.
I'm shipwrecked. I might as well be shipwrecked.
The reason really for me, I think, that carrying on is because I enjoy writing with Tony. I mean, there's something we have together when we sit down and play guitar and keyboards that I think is special and worth. I still want to do it. It's as simple as that, really.
I'm a million miles from anywhere. Where can I be? Somewhere out on the ocean.
To have co-written 3 songs in an 11-track album with Genesis is an amazing achievement. It's great to have been involved in that, and I think that obviously the natural progression is to take it a stage further, but really, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I think that if I become involved musically, if that's a good thing to happen, then great. If I don't, then equally, it's not a problem to me. The important thing is that the album is good and is as good as it can be. And if that means that Mike and Tony write music and I involve myself purely lyrically, purely melodically, or whatever, that works fine for me as well.
Calling all stations. Can anybody tell me exactly where I am? How different things look when you're on your own. Watching the darkness closing all around me.
We started the album with Calling All Stations, which was a slightly more ambitious track, you know, partly to give that feel, so that, you know, it should have a slightly more kind of intense feel, I think, than perhaps. You know, if you start an album like Invisible Touch with what is quite a straightforward song, everyone thinks, oh, this must be a straightforward album, but then you still had things like, you know, Domino and Tonight on it, which were more substantial tracks. And I still think this is a mix, but Ray's voice naturally makes everything sound a little bit darker and more dramatic, I think.
Why'd you say you wanna be with me, but the next day say you don't? I'm shipwrecked. I might as well be shipwrecked. I'm helpless and alone, drifting out to sea. I
very relaxed. You don't have, you know, I'll be in there doing a vocal take and Tony will be doing a crossword. You know, it's that kind of it's bizarre things. You know, you come out of the booth. Was it? You know, you don't ask if you did the thing well. Basically, if nobody says anything, you did it well. It's not like in America you get a round of applause. It doesn't work like that. Tony does 3 across and Mike goes and makes a coffee. You know, that it's gone fine. You know, they're just relaxed about it. They know what to do and they've been through it all before.
The live part's always fun. I mean, for me personally, writing and recording is where my excitement comes. I could never just tour. A lot of my friends live to be on stage, you know, and I don't. But I do enjoy a concert when it's happening and when people like you and it's a sort of good vibe and you're playing well. The good moments are great.
This is a view of what we have tended now to call the T-tray projection screen. This is the thing that's projected on from the front.
Right.
And when it's there, when the audience come in, it has a very sort of high-tech industrial silver metallic appearance.
Can anybody tell me?
The most important thing, as I say, we need to work out is that we've left you guys enough space to perform on, and that you're not suddenly going to want to leap off your keyboard riser and run around, because if you do, you've got about a 7-foot drop.
Well, I'm thankful for that. I do like that feeling of the music communicating directly to an audience. It's a very exciting experience.
I've never been to America or Canada yet, as much as I've been everywhere in Europe. I've never been outside. And to arrive in Canada and North America to do your first Genesis concerts is just, what a way to arrive, you know. Hi, I'm here. Oh, and by the way, I sing with one of the most famous bands in the world. Let's go. And that, you know, it's a really exciting prospect, I think, to be doing things on that scale. It's wonderful.
I hope he's good. No, I think Ray's got a strong presence. I think doing a video is actually much harder than playing, for him, I think, than actually being on stage, because on stage he's singing the songs and there's an emotion coming out, which I think carries him through it a lot more. A video is slightly more about playing to camera sort of thing. But I think it'll be good.
Now you know as much about Genesis as the rest of us. Genesis 1-to-1. Tonight they're on stage in Cardiff, doing an extra show at the same stage at the International Arena tomorrow night. Friday it's the 9X Arena in Manchester, and on the 8th they'll be in Dublin playing at the Point. Genesis, Through the Ages live tour.